are persons attending to this with all earnestness. I hope I don't fail you.
Certainly not, sir.
Yeah. So, see, I'll get straight to what we are to be talking. It all started in 1906 when in a talk arranged by American Bar Association, Pound, who was a professor, 36 years old, he was talking about the causes of popular dissatisfaction in the administration of justice. Almost like Bharatiya is saying, "Nenju porukudile in the nilai ketta manidare vittal." Why? When we always think it's the previous generation, 100 years back, things were better. No, it's not like that. 100 years back, Pound was saying there is a popular dissatisfaction in the administration of justice. So they were all thinking about how do we carry things better. Wigmore, who was there, the famous Wigmore of Wigmore evidence, he was there to identify in a talk of what Pound did. There is a white flame. This man has something to say, that he says it just can't be there in courts. There is so much else to be done. And there needs to be judicial settlement. There needs to be effort to bring parties together to secure conflicts to be resolved in different ways. Why is it just only courts? This kind of archaic practices, these procedural laws really fetter the administration of justice, was what Pound was saying. It took nearly about 70 years when the Chief Justice Berger at the time, he had another talk in the same place where the discussion was originally held in 1906. That became the Pound Conference, when they said, now what have we done? Have we improved over this 70 years? That is the question which he raised. And Sanders was there, one of the foremost thinkers and the professors of Harvard, was there at that time in that meeting. And Sanders said, we need multi-door courthouses. At the courts, you open the door, you have the judge in court. Just not that. From the court will open several other doors. There will be arbitration, there will be non-binding arbitration, there will be mediation, there will be conciliation elsewhere. So therefore, the doors of the court shall not merely open to a judge sitting in the court and lawyers thumping the fists on the tables, but they will also be associated with other things which are intimately connected to the cause of resolution of disputes. This is how it was conceived in 1976, and when Sanders brought this multi-court houses, multi-door court houses, he was truly opening up a whole new area for the courts to be identifying themselves with. And thankfully for us, it was the Law Commission which, even before the 1999 and 2002 amendment, in 1989, they came with a recommendation that we need other alternative disputes resolution mechanisms. So therefore, we had the Legal Service Authority contemplated Lok Adalats. That was the first of an alternative dispute. ADR came through the Lok Adalats for us. And that was the Legal Service Authority had in 1985 to start with. Probably later, we had in the Arbitration Conciliation Act, conciliation making a reference, arbitration making reference. These were all identified as alternatives to the court systems. And then we had to wait till 1999 and 2002. But then the Salem Bar Association, there's a famous case of all of us are acquainted with. They had a reason to be seriously aggrieved. They were not very happy. The Salem Bar truly represented a national concern that there are so many things which are being introduced which can hamper our court practice. That was how it was seen. But then we had very scholarly judgments through speaking through Justice Ravindran, then the previous Chief Justice in the first Salem Bar one. We had important issues laid down, and then the court said that in Afghan, you had to wait till literally 2010 when better articulation is made by the Supreme Court in Afghan's constructions. And it said three things. There shall be an appropriate stage for referring a case, if it is there for mediation, when we're talking about as mediation as another important area of activity as a ADR. and the court must explain the different ADR formulations which are available before it assigns the parties to any particular thing. And that was the second thing. And a mediation facility or service is not available, that the parties can opt for the guidance of the court itself, and he should be actively involved in settlements. Tell me honestly, do you think any judge says, explains to you the several options which are available and say, now move over to this? Just does not happen. Probably in some matters of what we are all familiar with, if it is a matrimonial matters, probably under 482, when proceeding or something like that, you have immediately attempts made, or in almost all the family courts, you have mediation centers attached. That they go there, they get assigned. Initially, it was the problem was that you take time. You want time, and therefore you seek for a reference to mediation. Therefore, you get some more time. This was how it was seen. Now there is a greater awareness that mediation works, and it has worked extraordinarily well in some places. Chennai to start with, and probably we were responsible in taking to all places. And I'm truly concerned of what you have seen already. Why is it? I'm not seeing. It has gone off for me. Are you hearing?
Yes, I'm able to hear you, sir.
You're able to hear me. All right. Sorry, not for me. So there was the ADR, the mediation, when it was taken up. Look at the numbers. Because I'm going to be telling you only about two things. Only about the court and its mediations, because of the ADR and the ODR. Suddenly, there is a lot of interest. If you connect to the court these days, it is only through the online dispute resolution mechanism. It's is it that when we are talking about virtual courts, are we talking about is that an online dispute resolution? Then therefore there is some misunderstanding. I thought I should just take up these two before I leave it to the other two panelists. Of the court, I was looking at the statistics this morning. It's available for you to see. There's the total number of cases of what are there in India. It's about 3.25 crores. We are talking about a number of which you have 90,66,861 civil cases and 2,34,52,822 criminal cases. Look at the number. You have civil cases probably about 35 to 7%, and the rest of it are all criminal cases. Tamil Nadu presents, however, a different picture. Rather surprising to me when I was looking at it in the morning, just before I began this talk. The total cases which are pending in Tamil Nadu, 11,69,026, of which civil cases are 6,58,519 and criminal cases 5,10,507. Criminal cases less than the civil cases. It's very different from the national scene. We have less number of criminal cases than the civil cases, because whenever we are talking about mediation, we are talking essentially from the civil cases perspective. They may be responsible for so many of the criminal cases. So therefore, when we are talking about some types of civil cases, they also have an immediate way it operates elsewhere. Look at this again. I've told you about the numbers, not to bore you with too many things. Just to let you know, we are talking about 6 lakh cases of civil cases and somewhere close to about 5 lakh and all civil cases and criminal cases. And I was looking at the numbers for January to December 2019, the civil cases which are brought to settlement through ADR process. When I'm taking really arbitration, how many cases are there in arbitration in various places? We don't have that kind of statistics available through our state legal service authority. It tells you in civil cases, 12,000 cases. Now, for a whole year, we have done 12,000 cases, and the matrimonial out of them was 2,565. And in the criminal cases, you have about 3,000 cases, and the MCOP 264 cases. Now, we're talking about lakhs of cases, and you make a reference about a few thousands of cases as what is going through the ADR process. Something seriously wrong. If you must only be thinking that we are going to approach the issue of arrears of cases, or even forget about numbers and arrears. Just think about the total conflicts which exist in the society and how people are looking to courts for answers. And if it's not court, if we are looking through our ADR mechanisms, if we are going to be talking as against 5 lakhs and 6 lakhs to disposals in a whole year to 12,000, there is a gross mismatch. There is something seriously wrong. Unless we address it, we won't be able to do good. First, I think the problem is too much of reliance of cases to be mediated only if it is referred through courts. Other wish that we think about mediation as something which is worthwhile, which can truly endure for parties. Imagine a case which is disposed of by a court. All the disposals of what we were talking about, where we beat our chest and then feel very happy about what we have done. There are never cases which are disposed of. Cases get displaced from one forum to another. That's why Pound started when he was saying in 1906, there is an unusual habit of persons looking for success in a conflict, and therefore you talk about it when you talk about litigation. You talk, or when we want to see how things are sorted out. Here, these lawyers have a sporting theory of justice. What do you mean by sporting theory? It's not being sportive. The sporting theory, as what Pound was saying, was will to win. In a conflict, do you really win anything? When there are two persons in conflict, where do you win? How do both parties feel happy and satisfied is what is essential. Every judge knows, as he disposes of the case with the best effort that he has put in, he is dispatching one party happy, one party not so happy. We need, therefore, in our orientations, we need other ways of securing justice to a party. Don't ever think that you're going to lose out on your income by suggesting a party to a mediation. That's completely wrong. And I'm sure what is the change in mindset, Raja has enough to think and say. Therefore, I'll not broach that. I just wanted to only say, flag this position, that reference to courts as that will bring large number of disposals just wouldn't happen. ADRs must be supported for their own cause, not really coming through court. But then that is what we worry about. We have just not small number. We have such a huge number of 3.2 crores. Why do we go elsewhere? The courts must start the process is very important. Every judge must be convinced that there is something truly worthwhile, that a case is settled. And therefore, I'm going to dispatch the case. Justice Ravindran thinks in Salem Bar that a court will explain to the parties the various alternatives available, and it cannot be taking place. At least we need coaches. We need to know that they have a lot to do, that the courts can't really deliver justice wholesale. And 100 years back, when somebody was talking about it, of popular dissatisfaction, we still carry the dissatisfaction now. So our numbers are not good enough. Mediation does not really add up to anything in terms of numbers to a total number of cases. One area which I wanted to merely highlight. And therefore, how to move forward. I also say now issues of attitudes of what Raja will probably say, and how the courts also, judges feeling satisfied, because we have so many of, I don't want to name them. I know so many of the judges who don't believe mediation has anything to do worthwhile. Or if they assume that the case is referred to arbitration, that interventions under 34 so easily done, because it's easy for the court to be staying proceedings and then keep it there. At least in some courts I know, all evidence will be open. In Punjab and Haryana, they literally, in every arbitral case in section 34, you literally be running through all evidence. So approaches where there is not willing to let go is a problem with judges. So therefore, that also would require to be seen and different. ADR cannot succeed if the court breathes down the neck of a mediator or an arbitrator or how he performs. That all these institutions must work well. They work with enormous efficiency is what we need to believe. There is ODR. On ODR, I just wanted to say, what we now experience of filing cases, online dispute resolution probably came through PayPal and eBay in a very big way for small-time business transactions, where you buy something, you are not satisfied with the kind of product which you have got, you have an issue, then PayPal sets it up for you, and they are able to now deliver anything within, say, about 45 days. They give an answer to you. They let you negotiate initially. If it doesn't happen, if it does not turn out correctly for you, it is escalated to the next level. They hand out to you what is appropriate in a situation. From there, we have come a long way. Permanent Lok Adalats, if I have seen the issue of conciliation taking place and the order is final, it's never taken as final. They will be brought under challenge to 227, and our approaches to 227 is literally whatever was possible in revision. It is called as revision, and therefore that extraordinary jurisdiction of what High Court possesses, we almost take it as the courts of appeal. In so many of the Lok Adalats, permanent Lok Adalat decisions, they intervene at all times. But in the virtual courts of what we are talking about in ODR, we expect e-filing in a very big way. Probably Delhi High Court has done rather well with some courts which are paperless courts. Right now, I had an experience recently during this lockdown period of overseeing some filing. It's pathetic the way it is happening. You take literally 10 days to have a case registered. Why? Because if documents are zipped or sent in a zip file, large volume of documents are there, they're sent through zip file. You have the other side from the registry, somebody saying, sir, we see only all these things through our cell phones. We can't open. Please send it through in a PDF format, each document. Larger number of files to be seen. And then they're seeing through the cell phone and then probably passing it on to another person. And then there's a computer for that person to see. Doesn't happen. And among other things, the returns I also saw. Docket not sent in for a digital format for the document. That's rather surprising. What is a docket? We have the list of documents. So whatever you see in the physical filing is what you are expecting in the digital format as well. So that is what I see as a problem. Is there is a dedicated staff which is necessary. The limitations which exist in ODR practices are large. One, I would say, there is a lack of dedicated staff. It has to work. And because we are talking about some procedures which are different, even that requires a legislation now. We are too much of ad hocism the way it is practiced now. This ODR can't succeed if we don't have a special legislation allowing for different things. Information Technology Act probably makes us realize that digital evidence is acceptable. But then on matters of filing of documents, how they shall be, how the court fee, even the court fee issue, I found it was not a very easy thing. I was looking at it, it takes a long time before it gets registered. It must all be seamless processes. But I'm sure one way of looking at it is everything has its time, we will have the time. Another one is a consistency, standardized method. It is not yet available, probably in one of the judgments recently made by one of our judges here. There is a lack of standardization, lack of consistency is what he said as a reason why he was passing a particular order. Just for us to know that it's important. Again, ODR, this virtual courts are, among other things, ODR is all not virtual courts. It is but one facet, and therefore seeing there, even as we do, we need different better methods, because what happens in courts is you have the document, you suddenly pass it across to the judge, he sees it. This can't happen. We can't show you a document before the phone or hold it before a cell phone and expect the judge to see it. So therefore, process of real court hearings are truly hard to replicate. That's why in a talk by Justice Chandrachud a couple of days back to some students of a university, he was saying virtual courts just can't supplant real courts. And for arguments, physical presence. So there are issues which are very serious. It will not be replicated. But then there is an opportunity. All of us are suddenly introduced to some systems, some methods of practice. And there is a talk somewhere, and I was a little surprised, because the Bar Council must embrace what is happening through this situation in a big way. They shouldn't think there is a haves and the have-nots. What do we do? There are so many of our poor lawyers who do not have it. Just don't worry. Don't bring this down, because it's not even fair. The accessibility to computers, even if it's not a big computer, through cell phone, so much is possible. Tell me if there is one person who doesn't have a cell phone these days. So therefore, it's possible that you suddenly make the access improved through this, is what we must realize. And therefore, where do we check these access in any way. If there is a worry, that is the worry we must have. Do we have enough gatekeepers to ensure that only the right kind of things come in, or does anyone come in through any system and create a problem? So therefore, we need to know that ODR offers enormous scope. It can be applied in every situation, but then we will not believe that this is going to be making a major divide between some class of lawyers who can't afford it. Affordability is just not an issue. I'm sure the Supreme Court is talking about, thinking about introducing various access points from where people from all sections of people, even the more areas, are able to access. So I'll just leave with this preliminary observations of what I see, that we will not resist the application of technology. It's a great thing of what has happened. COVID is probably an unusual unifier in some sense. I don't think I would have seen so many of my friends as I'm now seeing through this. Just on a normal day, if not for COVID, probably apart from 1 or 2 persons of who I could be seeing in a day, I may not have any other contact. Now we are suddenly speaking more, hearing more, reading more. Everything is in greater numbers. That we don't lose out on a normal day is what we need to be reminding ourselves. That we carry this tempo and that we have been set through truly a wonderful tempo. Just don't put your guards down. It's essential to stay afloat, essential to interested in embracing technology to conflict resolution.